Hey, welcome to a Friday afternoon edition of emrhl Radio. Got a couple things going on that we want to get to right away. So with that, let's get to the breaking news. Okay, first things first. I was up at the rink this morning doing the ice hockey league like I am every Friday around 6 a.m. And the dryer, which keeps the place dry, it actually sucks the humidity out, was on the fritz again. They got it working on Tuesday, and if you did smell the gas, I did smell some gas. It was leaking gas, so they had to shut it down. I've contacted the rink. I've let them have it, and I said, basically, we can't play if the dryer is not working, or we're at jeopardy of not playing, especially when it rains. And, of course, Saturday morning, it wouldn't be a Saturday or a Tuesday without some kind of rain or snow this winter. So they're forecasting rain tomorrow morning. As of this morning, it was when I left there, it was about 8:30. I checked the rink. It was dry. The rink was dry, even in the back corner. I was down on my hands and knees. It was bone dry. I was running around on my sneakers, had perfect grip. That was the story this morning, okay? Tony's got his group skating 6 to 8 tonight. I may or may not jump in on that skate, but I will be talking to him one way or another. Obviously, if I'm there, then I'll see for myself. But if I don't skate, I will talk to Tony at 8 p.m. tonight or shortly after 8 p.m. and get an update on the court conditions. If he and his crew are sliding all over the place, it's just not going to get any better, and we will not be playing on Saturday morning. If they say everything was fine, now we take it to the next level and give it a shot on Saturday morning. But again, I could show up Saturday morning, and it could be pouring out, and it could be crappy. So there's things that I just can't control, and it's their equipment and the weather, and that's what's causing all our issues. I do not want a repeat performance of last Saturday or last Tuesday with just, falling guys. It not only is it dangerous, it's not fun. It's not fun for anyone. No one wants to play in that. So please check the website tonight, sometime between 8 and 9, depending if I play or not. It will determine how quickly I can get information up. I will put an update up tonight one way or another and say the court is fine or the court is bad. And I will try to get there early tomorrow to check on the situation of the court as well. I don't want to cancel first thing in the morning, but at the same time, I may not know the condition of the court until first thing when I get there. So that's the breaking news on the rink. So, again, I'm just repeating myself. Check tonight between 8 and 9. I will have some kind of update, whether we are definitely canceling or whether we're going to try to play. And then in the morning, I can tweet and I can Facebook from the rink, and I can also do a Spreaker. I just can't change the website itself. So if you want to click on the website in the morning or come to Facebook or Twitter and see if anything's changed in the morning, then you can do that as well. But I just don't want to have a repeat performance, but I don't want to cancel if the court is fine either. So we're kind of in a holding pattern right now for a Saturday morning game. So again, just keep checking with us some way, social media or website, whatever you got to do. Text me if you want. And as soon as I know, I will let everybody else know. We do have another piece of breaking news, though. Yeah, and that comes from the Saturday League, and that is the 0-11 Sioux are now 1-11. They got their first win of the season. It took 12 weeks. They were dangerously close to going Tampa Bay Buccaneers 0-14, but they did pull off a win last week against the Cherokee. It was tight for a while. They jumped out to a 2-0 lead on goals by RVB and Mike Ash. By the end of the first period, it was just 3-2. And by the end of the second period, the Cherokee come all the way back to tie at 5-5. Somehow, though, the Sioux persevered. 3 goals in the third. One by myself, Rob Riches, and Eric Cause. The 3 of us all scored for the 8-5 final. So congratulations to the Sioux. Yeah, there it is. They got their first win of the season. We should note, though, that the Cherokee was, they were missing their top pick in Matt Potts and didn't get a sub. But, But let the Sioux have their moment, shall we? More breaking news, this time in the Tuesday League. Yeah, on Tuesday night, it was Zook and Vicodin getting their first win. Yeah. Way to go, guys. They didn't wait nearly as long as the Sioux, though. This was week 6. They were 0-5 going into week 6. They took on a struggling Maylox team, and this was, wow, a 7-0 lead they ran out to. And they would hang on for the 9-6 win. It did get close for a while. In fact, it got real close. There was still some time left when we got into stop time almost. But yeah, Zook and the Vicodin team there no longer winless, and that's 2 strong games in a row that Vicodin has put in. If you remember, just a couple weeks ago, they were trailing 7-1 and came all the way back and nearly won that game against one of the top teams in the league. So congratulations to the Vicodin team playing well, and hopefully we won't need to make any moves at the Beer Summit next Tuesday. So that's all of our breaking news. I want to take a quick look at what happened last Saturday, and that would be on 1/11. Here's some new music I got here. Okay, so going back to the Saturday League, games played on 1/11. We had some good battles going on. Playoffs are taking shape. Incidentally, Saturday, guys, whether we play tomorrow or not, the season is still winding down. So if we play tomorrow, then next week is the end of the regular season. If we have to cancel because of a wet court, then in 2 weeks, the end of the regular season. But we need everybody to get their final payments in. A lot of you guys are either paid in full or real close, but there's still some guys that are dragging behind. So let's get those going, and let's wrap up the regular season so everybody can play in the playoffs. So last week we opened up with the Chippewa and the Blackfoot, and neither team had a goalie. Both of their goalies bailed out. One guy requested a certain time that we gave him and then told me that was the wrong time, and another guy couldn't make it and whatever. So luckily Tom Grasso showed up, and we didn't have to wait more than 5 or 10 minutes for him to suit up and get in and get going. Jimmy Celeste played for the Chippewa, and Celeste would get the win for the purple team, 9-6. The Chippewa have, incidentally, they've clinched their division, and I believe that they, hang on one second here, I'm still getting my divisions mixed up. The Chippewa have clinched the Campbell division, Campbell Conference, if you would, so they are the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. And that win just kind of cemented their first place a little bit more. We'll get to standings in just a minute. The 10 a.m. game, as mentioned, that was the Sioux taking on the Cherokee. Sioux getting their first win, 3 third-period goals, and they would take this one 8-5. We've kind of covered that already. Then at 11 o'clock, we had the M&M game, Mohicans and the Mohawks, both teams needing some subs. And Mohicans would come out on top of this one 6-3, and that's going to make things real interesting in the Campbell Conference. We'll take a look at standings again in just a minute. At noontime, the lunch game, we had the Apache taking on the struggling, and I must say, struggling Navajo in a Wales Conference matchup. And the Apache took this one rather easily, 9-3. Actually, Navajo jumped out to a 1-0 lead in the first period, and then were outscored 9-2 the rest of the way as the Orange team scrubs the floor with the Navajo 9-3. And the day ended up with the matchup that we were hoping for, and we got. It was the Iroquois and the Crows. If you remember back on week 1, the Crows made very short work of the Iroquois, destroying them. In fact, let me go back and check the score now. And I want to say it was 11-2. Yes, it was 11-2 Crows. This time, though, the Iroquois kept it close, but they needed a goal with just 19 seconds left to force the shootout. Yeah, there was a big jam in front, and we think it was John Hafer that got that. That's what we have written down here in the score sheet. It was Matty Ryan and Woody and Hafer all crashed the net, and they ended up getting a tying goal. They went into overtime. They went the maximum 5 rounds. Only 1 goal was scored on each side, so it does end in the 9-9 tie. So we got the game we were expecting. Let's hope the Patriots-Broncos games is that good. this Sunday. But it was 9-9. Iroquois and the Crows. Say that 5 times fast. Taking a look at our Saturday standings. In the Wales Conference, we have the Iroquois and the Crows. They are knotted up at 8-3-1. The Crows do hold the Iroquois have 18 points. The Crows with 17. If they were to end up with the same amount of points, the Crows hold the tiebreaker edge for their win in Week 1. But right now, the Iroquois hold a slim 1-point lead thanks to an overtime loss earlier in the season. In third place, the Apache are right there at 7-5 with 15 points. The Cherokee at 500 at 6-6, they have 13 points. And then the lowly Navajo at 5-7 with 10 points. Still some movement in that division with 4 points left for each team with 2 games to play. In the Campbell Conference, Chippewa have clinched that one. They're 9-3 with 18 points. Nobody's going to catch them. In second place at 6-6, we have the Blackfoot. They have 12 points, just 2 points ahead of the Mohicans, who are surging. Can we say the surging Mohicans? They are 5-7 with 10 points. And then down the bottom, we have the Mohawks at 4-8 with 9 points. They still have an outside chance of catching one of the second or third place teams, Blackfoot and the Mohicans, but they are well ahead of the Sioux, who are 1-11 with 4 points. Sioux are going nowhere, so they will play in the wild card game in the first round. They have clinched the last place spot. Oh, okay, everybody's favorite thing now, stats.
Take it to the top, the top. Don't let the feeling stop the top. Take it to the top.
Starting at the top, Saturday morning stats. And even though some people are saying that the stats weren't updated according to their cell phone, well, you got to refresh. Hit the refresh button, clear the cache, something. But all the stats were put up for both Tuesday and Saturday. A couple of Crows at the top of the list. Mike Soucy, Dr. Seuss. He's got 61 points. Andrew Conlon with 55 points. Bobby Dempsey of the Chippewa with 52 points. Woody and Hafer follow up next. Both play for the Iroquois, 50 points and 49 points. And rounding it out, we have Matt Potts of the Cherokee with 43 points. And Tony Laverty and John Suey tied with 42 points. Tony with the Blackfoot and Suey with the Chippewa. Goalie stats, oh boy, we got a ton of goalie stats here. Let me just pick the top few, take a look at them. A.K. Alek Konevsky, he has played 10 games. Good for you, A.K. Incidentally, he's missing tomorrow, so we will need to find a replacement goalie for A.K. He's going skiing or something like that. I don't know. Just don't get hurt again like you did at Christmas. Thanks. After 10 games, he's 6-4, 5.08 goals against. Ryan Hay of the Iroquois, he's only played 8 games this season. He's 5.58 goals against. Dave Manzo's played 6 games. He's 3-2 with a 6.06 goals against. After 12 games, Tommy Grassel's played them all and then some. He's 5-7 for the Mohicans, 6.07 goals against. And the last one I'm going to mention, Jake Shakes Fitzgerald of the Crows. He's played in 9 games, and he's 7-2 at a 6.33 goals against. Taking a look at games scheduled for tomorrow. And again, if you're just tuning in, stay tuned to the website. It's 3 o'clock right now here on the East Coast, Boston time. And I mentioned that probably sometime between 8 and 9 tonight. If we have to cancel, I'm going to try to do it then. If we know the court is bad, then it's not going to get any better overnight. So if the court is bad tonight, we're going to shut it down tonight. If the court is fine tonight, we're going to try to push it to tomorrow morning and get the games in. But again, check the website tonight. Check again in the morning. Have your Facebook, your Twitter. I'm going to do as much social media as I can to get the word out one way or another. You know, I will try to post if we are on, if we are off. But again, I've contacted the rink. I just can't do any more except hope that the court's fine. But getting into the games, which should be played tomorrow, which is January 18th, we have the Mohawks and the struggling Navajo kicking things off at 9 a.m. We're hearing the Mohawks are going to have a special sub-goalie and maybe a special sub at 9 o'clock. The Sioux looking for back-to-back wins. They take on the Blackfoot. They should get it. They should really beat up on Tony's Blackfoot team. Tony's Blackfoot team is not playing well at all, and this could be a nice game for the Sioux to get their second win. Even though they get nowhere to go in the standings, it should be great if they could take win number 2 against Tony's team. At 11 o'clock, the Chippewa, with nothing to play for, they might be resting some of their top guys. They take on the Mohicans, who are still looking to climb up the ladder in their conference. At noon, it's the Apache and the Iroquois. One last shot for the Apache to move up in the standings as they take on the first-place Iroquois in a Wales conference matchup. And then we have the Cherokee taking on the Crows at 1. That's another big game for the Crows here. You know, they are tied 1 point away from the Iroquois in first place. So the Crows, they can't be taking any games off coming down the stretch. They got to everybody and hope for the best. And that is a look at our Saturday scheduled for tomorrow, January 18th. Turning our attention to the Tuesday League, and, well, they actually had the drier working Tuesday, so things were dry, except that it was pouring buckets out. And when it pours that much, yeah, we got some leaks. So the whole back corner was just a mess. We ended up playing 2 halves after deciding to play the night. We played 2 halves, and that kind of threw all the stats and times off. I did the best I could to sort it all out. But in any case, Tylenol got a whole bunch of production from Scott Fowler, who actually showed up for a game, as they won 7-3 over Motrin, Tylenol did. And Fowler was joking that he's 4th in the league in scoring, and he's only played like 2 games. So if Scotty Fowler could show up to more games, who knows? He could be the next Eric Gratz or the next Scott Layden or the next Adam Muse 2006. You never know. So Scotty, yeah, show up to some games, and let's get some more stats going. So Tylenol 7-3 over Motrin at 7. At 8 o'clock, it was Viking, and as mentioned, getting their first win, 9-6 over the Maylocks team. Boy, I tell you, that Maylocks team, I went to Hooters. I was, after the night was over, I went to Hooters, me and Tony Laverty, and I was dying for some wings and just hungry. So I went in there, and there's half the Maylocks team, not the good half. It was Alberts, Bill St. Pierre, Brian Estrella. They were hanging out with Steve Burdick, who was probably requesting a trade himself. And boy, imagine being on that line. You're out there with Alberts, Griffin, St. Pierre. Geez, no wonder why Estrella's having a bad season. So it was Viking getting their first win. Congratulations, 9-6 at 8 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, we had Cipro taking on Adderall. Adderall missing Moose and one other guy. I think they had Susie. Oh, Muzz. Moose and Muzz didn't pick up any subs. And, yeah, they got clobbered by Cipro 11-4. Wasn't even close. 4-0 after 1. 5-3 after 2. They did get it close, but then 6 goals in the third period for the Cipro team. 3 of them. Let's see who got the 3 of them there. Chris Mahoney, big third period there, cashing in 3 times. Even Jay Frasca had a couple. You know what was funny in that 9 o'clock game? It was so out of hand late in the game that even Jay Frasca stopped trying. I've never seen that. Jay Frasca got the ball, and you could see the expression on his face was, oh, I really don't want to score again. And he just kind of dumped the ball in the corner, skated back into his own zone. Oh, dudes, you know it's bad when Jay Frasca even stops trying. You know the game's out of hand. Good for him to be on the other end of a blowout for a change. So, yeah, Cipro big over Adderall, 11-4. And then in the final game of the night, it was Zantac taking it on NyQuil, Battle of the Giants. And NyQuil easily taking this one, 7-4. Zantac didn't even really put up a fight. The score is really a lot closer than it was. I think it was 7-2 late, and Zantac got a couple late goals to make that score a little closer than it was. They had some bad subs, starting with Mike Barry. Hey. Yeah, Mike Barry subbed in, was not good. Bobby Dempsey played. He only had 1 goal. Boy, Dempsey's struggling. Must be the Karras factor. And Cam LeMay subbed in for Shane LeMay. He did have 1 goal, so that's 1 more than Shane would have had. So that's a slight upgrade. Higgins subbed in for everybody who was missing on NyQuil. They were missing a bunch of dudes. And he cashed in with a couple of goals. Not Higgins' best game, I must say. Usually he'll do a lot more than that. But it was good enough for the win. And NyQuil takes this one 7-4. And if I can put on some other music, we will check out the Tuesday night standings. Tuesday standings after 6 weeks. It's Philbrook, last season's champ, going for the three-peat. And what were they talking about at the captain's meeting? That if you three-peat, usually the captain buys the first round, but if you three-peat, you have to buy the round. 3 rounds, in fact, I think it was. So Philbrook is on the verge of winning his 3rd title this season, and he would have to buy the first 3 rounds. No, we'd have to buy him 3 rounds. That's what it was. Yeah, captain buys, except if you win 3, then everybody else buys you 3 rounds. So Philbrook could be drinking for free at the next draft if he keeps this up. So he's 5-1 at the top with 10 points. We have a couple teams at 4-2, Cipro and Adderall. See, they just met this week. Adderall missing 2 of their top guys. They're both 4-2 with 8 points. 3 teams with 6 points at 3-3. That would be Tylenol, Zantac, and Motrin. Yeah, the CVS store. That's what we did this season. All have 6 points. And at the bottom, both at 1-5, it's Malox and Vicodin. They are 1-5 with 2 points. And, yeah, it's that time.
Take it to the top, the top. Don't let the feeling stop the top. Take it to the top.
Starting at the top of the Tuesday night scoring leader list, it's Chris Mahoney of Cipro. He's got 33 points, 24 of those goals. Not many assists, Mahoney. There never is. Mike Susi and Adam Hughes of the Adderall team are tied with 21 points. Right behind them, Scott Filer of Tylenol with 20. Eric Gratz of Tylenol with 19. Terry Patzel of NyQuil, he has 19 points as well. A couple of dudes, actually 3 dudes, tied with 18 points. That would be Lucas, Chris Spuglio, and Steve Philbrook, the defenseman. Dude, get back and play defense and stop scoring goals, will you? You have 18 points. And rounding out 3 guys tied with 15 points, Jeff Collins of Vicodin. Oh, that's the sub player, the other one, I'm not going to mention him. And Brian Estrella, all the way down there with 15 points. Ooh, tough season for Estrella. He's only got 1 more point than Kevin McGovern. And 3 more points than Tony Laverty and Zook. Oh, my gosh. Brian Estrella's got 3 more points than Zook and Tony Laverty. Shh. Mom's the word. Mom's the word. I ain't going to say any more about that. Goaltender stats on Tuesday night. AK for the Motrin teams played 5 games, 3-2, 5.39 goals against. Justin Guzman of NyQuil, he's played in all 6. He's 5-1, having a fine season, 5.83 goals against. Barry Moore of Tylenol struggling this season. 5 games in, he's 2-3, 5.99 goals against. Just a shade under 6. Maybe he needs to play more Battlefield 4 to sharpen his skills. Get an AA gun, that'll work. Ryan Hayes of Zantac, he's another one not having a great season. After 6 games, he's 500, 3-3, 6 even goals against. Eric Hagen of Cipro, after 5 games, is 3-2, 6.6 goals against. Jimmy Celeste of Adderall, not a bad season for him. 5 games, he's 3-2, 7.19 goals against. Mike Bozio of Malox, well, he's not having a great season right now. 1-5 after 6 games, 8.66 goals against. And then 12-pack, Paul Bortolino, after 6 games, he's 1-5 also. Did get the win this week, though, over Bozio. Congratulations to 12-pack. And a 9.00 goals against for Bozio. And that wraps up our Tuesday news. And that wraps up this edition of emrhl Radio. Coming to you on a Friday afternoon. Get everybody caught up with some things. As mentioned, please check the website. I know I've said it a million times, but I do want to get that word out. I don't know when someone's popping into the show and listening to the show or not listening to the show. So, or listening to the show on a replay. But, yeah, please check back with us tonight between 8 and 9. I'll post something on Facebook and Twitter. I'll let you know what the court's like. Hopefully, we're going to go tonight. I'm going to try to get down there and play, or at least check out the court. If it's good, we're on for the morning, and then we'll have to take another look at it in the morning. If we get there, I'll try to get there at 8 o'clock. If it's just horrible, then, yeah, I'll cancel as early as I can. But hopefully, if it's good tonight, it'll at least hold off until we can get all the games in tomorrow. And I keep badgering the rink about when they're going to fix that damn dryer. Or at least, Jeepers Creepers. Justin Perry, where are you, the weatherman? Stop making it rain on game days. I don't know. All right, that'll do it for this episode. We'll talk to everybody later. Hopefully, I'll see you at the rink tomorrow.